Hello and welcome back to the Lego Falcon Mega build. I have created this. So, yep, there's that. Put that aside, start something new. That's where I've left myself. Okay, we're in. I'm building. I'm prepared. Boom, two together. This is happening now. So I've made a horrible error from the outset of this video, and I feel the effects of this error will become apparent as the video progresses. Now, as you may or may not be aware, I'm currently doing intermittent fasting. Been doing it quite a while now, actually. I reckon, 4 or 5 weeks. My only real record of it is actually these videos, because for a while I was keeping track of it via that. Don't know if I've lost any weight. Generally feel better in general. Feel I've gained a certain amount of willpower. However, I'm yet to eat today. Normally what I would do is I would have lunch and then record this video. Today I just got up really early, edited a load of videos, and then thought, well, I've got to record this. All of this is building up to the fact that I've got Monster Hunter World loaded on my computer, ready to go, and I want to, basically, I want to sit in front of that for as long as possible. So I'm on the ball with various channel-based tasks, or at least I'm trying to be. So the long and short of it is I haven't had any food yet, and I'm quite hungry. Mainly because I didn't really have dinner last night. I ran out of time, so I had a yogurt and a fibre supplement, which is filling, but not satisfying in any way. It will get you through the night, but you'll wake up and you're like, Jesus Christ, what's happened to me? I think it's the rough method that senzu beans work on. I've actually just assumed this goes in, and it doesn't. Okay, so that's good. Now I need to fill in some bits. Yep, that's looking well. Right, this in here. Saw Ant-Man and The Wasp recently, finally out in this country. I really enjoyed it. The main thing I remembered about watching it is one, we haven't seen Ant-Man since Civil War, which is quite a few films back now. Obviously he wasn't in Avengers. And then also really like Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas, actually. I like him as Hank Pym quite a bit. How they've kept the Hank Pym's kind of a dick aspect of the character, but they seem to have dropped the also he beats his wife aspect of the character, which I think is fair enough. I don't need that in my sort of action blockbuster films. I don't think it adds much domestic abuse. It's not overly entertaining to me. Okay, so take this, look at it from this angle, and this bit hooks on through here, like that, and then this bit should simply enter in here. My memory is flooding back to me that this was difficult previously. There we are. That's gained some rigidity. I'm guessing we're about to make that side of it. Time will tell. Yep, there we are. What I particularly liked about Ant-Man was the stakes were very personal. The whole thing is he's under house arrest. There's no one sort of, coming to save him if he messes up. There's no I suppose Iron Man could probably help him out a bit. But it's strongly implied that if he fails his house arrest, he'll get sent to jail for 20 years, and that's kind of it. That's his life with his daughter essentially ruined, which is the big thing of his film. He just wants to be a good dad. And another thing they do great is they have a stepdad, and this is more from the first one. There's a stepdad in the family, and he's not a dick. He just wants what's best for the kid anyway. It's nice story writing. It's avoiding the tropes. One of them, and damn it, I was getting on so well. There it is. Alright, so this time it goes here. And this side here. Good. And it was good. What I didn't quite gather though was the whole film takes place over the course of 2 days. Fine, that's fine. Then the story ends, and it's implied to be some amount of time later. Scott's no longer under house arrest, and he's helping Hank Pym build a new quantum tunnel. And whilst I can hear my cat going mental out there, and whilst he's sort of testing that, he goes into the quantum realm. The snap clearly happens, and the Wasp, the older Wasp, and Hank Pym, the older Ant-Man, they all get turned to dust. That's fine. But it says that the reason he can't help during Infinity War is because he's under house arrest, which would be fine if during Infinity War there wasn't a lot of global alien invasion style events happening. Like, he would know, and then like the timescale isn't that much. I guess it could have happened in the middle. I suppose all that would be missing would be a shot of them seeing New York being attacked in the news, because that would actually be the only thing anyone would really be aware of. The Wakanda stuff, it all happens too fast to make the news, and then the bit in Scotland is kind of secret. So I suppose that's all that would be that one scene to really perfectly match up the timelines. Upon thinking out loud now, it's acceptable. It would be a minor thing, and it's not like any of them are in the news at all. Had Bill Foster in it as Goliath, who I was convinced in the comics wasn't called Goliath. I always thought he was called Black Goliath, or maybe he was for a time, and then they realised that he should be called Goliath anyway. Why add Black Goliath? Because he's black, obviously. The piece I need is not immediately presenting itself to me. Damn it. No, it's going to be in here, isn't it? It's always in here. No, yep. Oh, there it was. A lot of ups and downs there. First, I thought I'd seen it, and then I thought I hadn't, and then I had. All over the shop. Okay. Let's see. So as you're watching this, I finished playing through Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the Subspace Emissary mode. It's not good. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, some of the boss fights are good. The actual story is great. The cutscenes and all that is fun, but it's not. It's not. Is there some sort of rod? No, there's no rod at all. And now I'm ready to add this. There's an annoying amount of symmetry to this. Actually, it can only go one way. Never mind. There's not an annoying amount of symmetry. There's actually a perfectly reasonable amount of symmetry. Mickey, shut up out there. cat. I don't know if it's coming across on mic, but he's just going mental. He wants food. He's been fed, mind. He's just a greedy shit. He's also old as all hell. Like, minimum 15 years old, probably closer to 18 to 20 years old. He's always been a bastard. He's sort of halfway between a feral kind of farm cat and Satan himself. Like we got him for like pest control, which he was good at. Yeah, fair enough. He kept down the rats and the mice, and also the birds and the rabbits, and a creature that I believe is called what's it called? It's a weird kind of little cross between a rat and a squirrel. I can't remember the name now. They're very rare, and they exist almost entirely in a small area. Which I'm glad I'm not saying the area now, the name, because it does actually narrow down where I live quite substantially. But at the same time, it's annoying me that I can't remember. Okay, so we're now ready to add this bit to the outside. Now you may remember I've actually made 2 of these, and the other one hasn't been added yet either. And I said I would do it between episodes, and I didn't. It's not overly clear how to add it. I think you just kind of slot it in. There's definite space for it. Okay, it's halfway in. It's halfway. It's in. Went in really easy, actually. I'm going to make an effort to put this one in now as well. I feel this one will be more difficult as I'm unwilling to move to it. I've got no purchase. I've got half on. That's it. Oh, and it's in. Alright, well that was incredibly easy. If I were an attractive girl, that would be the bit I'd use for the thumbnail, because my top would have hung down, and there'd be a decent cleavage shot there. As I'm not an attractive girl, what you actually would have seen would be a hairy cleavage shot, admittedly. Maybe there are some girls who are attractive and also have hairy cleavage. Not my thing, not into that, but you know. Hirsute women have their place in society. Normally it's as fringe-based entertainers, but still. I'm mainly now thinking of The Greatest Showman, where you got the bearded woman. Not a bad film, Greatest Showman. Had some good songs in there. Bit hard to watch at the beginning when there's kids singing in that kids singing style that they teach them for musicals and what have you, and it's like, it's precocious is a word you'd use, and it's also incredibly annoying. But it's one of those sort of things you see, and it used to pop up a lot on talent shows. I don't watch them anymore. I assume it still does. You know, it'd be like productions of Mary Poppins, that sort of nonsense. And it's a style of entertainment you think, I don't like this, but I bet old people like this. And yet I've never met an old person who does like that. It's one of those paradoxes, isn't it? Where you assume it's something someone else would like without having any actual evidence of it. Actual Lego bricks are needed at this stage. Amazing. Look at that. That's a proper brick. What am I making here? I seem to have stopped making parts of the Falcon and started making a small land bridge for traversing small land. Is this right? Yeah, Greatest Showman. It's quite, it's quite good. There's some good songs in there. Zac Efron, great. particularly the scene where it feels like the ending is going to be Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman kissing, or quite possibly just having really aggressive gay sex. The kind you assume they would have back in those days, because you get caught kissing a man, you're getting hung by the neck, so you might as well go all in, you know, just fucking shoot for the heavens. What's brought me onto this topic? Alright, set that aside, build something new. So as I was saying, I finished Brawl, that's done now, which means I get the excitement of moving on to a new game series. And because my channel's been fully demonetized, I've now no qualms about having... I used to just have one Nintendo series on the go, because they'd always get demonetized, or monetized by Nintendo, in fact. So I just have one on the go, normally Zelda, and I think, yeah, that's fine. I've got 4 other videos of the week going out all right. Now that that's not an issue, and I don't give a shit, I'll do more Nintendo stuff more of the time. And I'm thinking the next one is going to be Paper Mario. However, I'm not quite certain which one, because I'm thinking 1000 Year Door, because it's arguably the best one, in as much as it's the only one I've really played. However, I did, for some reason, buy an EverDrive the other day, which, if you're not familiar, it's a Nintendo 64 cartridge with an SD card slot that you load ROMs onto, and then you play it through the N64. So it's kind of as close to perfect emulation as you can get. Like, obviously, you know, ROMs introduce their own issues, and then using an emulator introduces its own issues. By taking out the emulator and having an actual N64, you eliminate a lot of those issues, and it becomes closer to the real thing, if you will. So I could play the original Paper Mario via that, which I've never actually played before. I assume it's great. But then equally, you know, maybe I should just play 1000 Year Door. I've never actually completed it. So that's probably what I'm going to end up playing. It's a good game. It's got, you know, turn-based combat, makes it easy to stop and start. I don't think you can save anywhere. My only slight worry is, I remember it was quite difficult. Like boss fights were hard, I seem to recall, in a you can fail this sort of situation. But I'm wondering if that's because I was young when I first played it, and I'll be better now strategy-wise, or if I'm doing it for video, that will focus and hone my skills, as often it doesn't. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of those games that I've had on my replay list for ages. Is this right? No, that's not even the right colour. It's funny, I genuinely started this channel. There's 2 reasons. One was to get free games, obviously. Achieved that. Massive style. I've even been sent games I want. That's huge. And the other was sort of, half of it was like an excuse to play old games, but also like a motivation to play older games, or replay old games I like, and sort of finish them, essentially. Like, it's quite easy if you say I fancy playing the Minish Cap. You can start playing it, and then, you know, 3 or 4 hours in, you might stop and then never start again. But when you've got something motivating you to play it to the end, and it's not like I'm going to start playing this and finish it, and this is the only game I'm going to do. It's just little half-hour slots here and there once a week. It's a very nice way of doing it. What? This suddenly got complicated without me paying attention. Or in fact, this suddenly got complicated because I'm not paying attention would actually be what's occurred. So that goes like that, and this like this. It's always very pleasing using these ones that have like the diagonal smooths on them. I think it's because they don't hurt your thumbs to push down on them. So I made this. Now keep building it up. Higher and higher the tower must go. Yes, the tower. Wait, what? In the middle? Okay. And now the finishing touch. This will be very satisfying. I'm getting these smooth out bits. Is this symmetrical? No. It does go this way. Okay. Oh, yes. Look at what our power has wrought. Look at that bad boy. That's the top of an archway if ever I saw one. Now let's add it to this Baroque piece of genius. There we go. Huh. I've made this little piece of nonsense. I finished listening to an audiobook the other day. It was in the Star Wars canon. It was Tarkin. Actually, there's more to this story than meets the eye. I had it downloaded on my computer for ages. I just got around to like adding it to my phone via iTunes, which is a painful thing to do. It's not built for that sort of thing. And for whatever reason, iTunes, I had the file on my computer. You open the file, it's like 85 parts of the audiobook. They're like 4 minutes long for some reason. All in order, it's fine. Open it in iTunes. For some reason, the order's just messed up. It's like it couldn't read it. Like it would read it as number 1 would go first, then 11, then 12, or it was something like that. It couldn't get the numbers right, and I couldn't figure out why. So I had to spend quite a long time making a custom playlist that would put them in the right order. And the actual book itself, it's weird. Obviously, it's about Tarkin in the phase after Order 66 and before A New Hope. And I suppose technically it's before Rogue One as well. I think it was written before Rogue One, so there's no reference to like anything that can happen in Rogue One, but it doesn't tread on each other's toes too much. It's very much like the Tarkin story and then Rogue One here, but with no real crossover to speak of. But he's a really cool character actually when you think about it, because he's just a human. He's a Grand Moff for a start, which outranks even a Moff, which is the most hilarious military made up military rank ever, I think, isn't it? Moff, because it sounds like muff, doesn't it? Which is English for vagina, which doesn't say a lot, as about 1,000 words in the English language for vagina. Eskimos, they have 100 for snow, but we've got them beat in names for fanny. Okay, so I've made that. Now add this here, I think. Yep, okay. It actually showed me what I was making in the end with this, and it kind of looked like a time machine, which it doesn't really tell you a lot, because what does a time machine look like? But I think when we get to the end, you'll agree that it looks like a time machine, but we'll see. There's the story of Moff Tarkin. He starts off, just on Sentinel base, which, as it turns out, is like essentially the dockyard of the Death Star building project, which takes place at a station called Desolation Station, which is it's a brilliant name. It's fun to say. Desolation Station, it rhymes. That's why it's fun to say. It just sounds cool. It's probably quite fun to write down as well, I imagine. It's kind of a story of him and Darth Vader being badasses across the galaxy. It's weird because you know he's the bad guy, but also he's the main character of the book, so it's kind of odd following it from his point of view, because like you want him to win, but at the same time, so you know, he wins, you lose. Take one of these, apply it there, and then this bit I'm building here, it feels like instructions to make one of those like impossible shapes you see in drawings. I want to say the N64 logo is one, but it's not. But it kind of looks like one of them. Okay, made that, and now look like this. Goes on there, like that. Okay. This is a very complicated piece I'm building right here. I think it might be the turret port, like the bit at the top or the bottom, but I'm not certain. It's got this window in it, eventually. There's a version of events in Star Wars where Darth Vader kills the Emperor early for whatever reason. He finds out that he was the one that killed his wife, maybe, I don't know, something like that. And then Luke kills Darth Vader, and then Grand Moff just ends up taking over the Empire. And he's not really evil. He just likes order, and he doesn't. I suppose in A New Hope he blows up Leia's home planet. That's probably the only real like proper act of evil I've seen him do. Generally speaking, he's more just a military commander. I mean, the Jedi did far worse in the Clone Wars, and they were supposed to be the good guys. He was nice enough to his own men. People seem to like him. They love him on his home planet. Seem to be making man's Chinese theatre. Let's not question that. Is that racist? No, let's not question it. The best part about starting a video like this and being hungry is you get to think about all the things you're going to eat. And I'm thinking I'm just going to go simple. Have a nice bowl of cereals. Cereals? When you say cereals, it sounds like you don't mean like breakfast cereal, but you mean like in a food pyramid, what would be cereals at the bottom. And they'd normally just show you pictures of oats and grains. Could go have a big old bowl of oats. Not oatmeal, just oats on their own, like a horse. Right, I've got this, and it's put that aside and make something really complicated, is what it's saying. Wait, what? Oh, I was just about to say I like doing this because all the pieces I've needed so far have been really unambiguous. And then I pick up these two seemingly identical but totally different pieces that can't possibly appear on camera. Actually, they might. Okay, we got that. Now, some red. Really a fan of this red colour. It's very pleasing. Not a fan of the fact that I trimmed my talons, i.e. my nails, the other day, and Friday. We did it on Thursday. Today's Saturday, so they're very cropped at the minute, and they're at the point where they're too short, frankly, and that they're not providing the level of protection and defense to my fingertips that they should. I mean, it's very slightly uncomfortable to push down on any of this Lego. What the hell piece do I need here? Oh, wait, what? Oh, Christ, I see. Really confusing the way this was shown. It looked like I was supposed to add a bit on top, but it's like an overhang. Threw me for a right loop. Then a little red to finish off. Good. Right. Actually looks a little bit it's unfinished is what it is. Quite a few bits to add, in fact. Nearly dig that right up. So this goes in here. was going to say what it looks like is the shoulder piece of either a Power Ranger or a Power Rangers Zord. Like you can imagine like that would like just come in on the transformation scene, and that would form the shoulder pads essentially. Like it wouldn't look like not a Zord without that, but it would be a little bit odd. And then this goes on here. Go Power Rangers. I think did I imagine it, or are they making a sequel to the Power Rangers movie? Because I really hope they do. I really enjoyed that film, and I haven't heard anyone ever say like anything particularly bad about it. Generally speaking, it's one of those films where if it pops up in an online discussion, people are just generally fond of it. I think the only negativity for it is probably people who haven't seen it and assume it's essentially. Yep, just put that to the side. Assume it's like in the same vein as Transformers or Ninja Turtles, which is fair enough because on paper it should be, but it's really not. I might have to watch it again just to make sure this isn't the hill I'm dying on. It's such a great film. Okay, great is stretching it. Good, let's say. It's a good film. Not very good. Don't go that far. Let's see, little square grabber. So what's needed next? Perfecto. There it is. So there's talk of a sequel to that, and I'm hopeful. There's a good chance it won't, won't be any good. Things rarely are. The Power Rangers lore is both deep and shallow at the same time. Okay. So this Jesus Christ, what is that? That's massively complicated. I wonder if this is a 16 plus Lego kit. Toy. It's a toy. We all know it is. Stop trying to kid yourself. It's a 600-pound elephant. So that stacks on there. And this goes on here. It's a very dense collection of blocks right here. And it's about to get even more dense, apparently. But Monster Hunter World is waiting for me. The annoying thing about Monster Hunter coming out now is that I'm not tired of No Man's Sky yet. I'm gonna drop it, but it's gonna be left hanging, which mentally speaking, it's like when you need to sneeze, but then it passes, but you've still got 5% of that sneeze back there. It's just sort of, it's hovering over you, and eventually you'll want to go back to it. The good thing about No Man's Sky, you can go back to it at any interval. It's a very easy game for doing that. Particularly the state I'm in with it, where I leave myself with money and power and what have you. Bum bum bottom. Does it go like that? Or actually, wait, I've missed a piece. No wonder nothing lined up. I got too cocky. Don't get penisy, kid. There we are. It's funny. I really wanted to do more Star Wars recently, listen to a few audiobooks, watch some the TV series and films and shit. And I realised it's because I've been playing No Man's Sky and it's kind of spacey and cool, and obviously heavily influenced by Star Wars in places. A lot of the ship designs are, quite clearly, particularly the fighter ships. A lot of them look like X-wings. Right, okay, so I now need to make something very complicated. All of these bits involve like tiny little pieces and just complicated additions to everything. It's different, I like it. It's a nice change of pace. God, I'm so hungry. So I'm thinking cereal to start, but I'm on Shreddies at the minute. Chocolate Shreddies, very nice. Make the milk chocolatey. But then I feel something else as well. It was my birthday last week. I had a birthday cake. It's very nice. My favourite kind of birthday cake. Well, my favourite kind of cake. Sponge, chocolate chunks, banana. Delicious. Keep it in the fridge. You get nice bites of chocolate. It's very moist because of the banana. It's just a all round great cake. But I've been in the throes of literally like finishing every meal with a slice of cake, which is a dangerous thing to become accustomed to. Particularly when in your head it's like you're rationalising it. Well, you know, it was my birthday, treat myself. And that kind of thinking should only go so far. But now that dream has run out. So I've got to... Oh, fuck. I pushed too hard and essentially the whole thing just shattered in my hands. Right, so that went there. But it broke apart differently to how it went together. Is this right? I think that's right, like that. Yeah, okay. And then this gets added to here. Alright, good. This is becoming big now. Not that big, but a bit bigger. I'm hopeful to finish this part off before the video ends in 20 odd minutes. Loads of time. Loads of time. Okay, got that. Now I'll add this. Yep. And then that goes on there. That didn't really push in as sort of pleasingly as normal. I assume it's fine. This is the bit I've been looking forward to. The addition of... Wait, how's it going? Oh, it's... Oh, okay, I see. There we go. It just, the picture just showed like this just added in, but it didn't give any indication of how to actually do it. But I now know it's quite clear. So this can swing back, but not forward. I don't think this is supposed to move in any way, though, because it's a window on a starship, and they're not built to open, are they? Actually, the canopy on an A-wing, that's a window that opens. In fact, the canopy on all fighter ships. Wait, what? Oh, I see. The next step was like these two bits added together, but it didn't show any of that. It just showed you adding this bit I've just dropped to it. So how does it go? Just... Okay. Let's take that off. Right. It's upside down. That helped. Okay, I see now. Yep, that bit goes in there. There's very little holding this together at this point. In fact, I have a piece missing. I don't know when I failed to put this in. That hasn't added any rigidity, but I feel it will become immediately noticeable. All right, okay. We're adding the strengthening bars now. It's these big bad boys. One of them. One of these, and the grey one. When's Game of Thrones coming back? Oh, I miss it. It's been so long. I need to decide if I'm going to rewatch the whole series, then watch the end, or just watch the end, then buy the inevitable, highly expensive Blu-ray box set I hope they're going to do. They've got to, haven't they? And then rewatch it all on that. I think that's what I ought to do. that way, to be honest, if the last season's like not that great character resolution wise, it will be made worse if you rewatch the whole series first. And I've got it in my head pretty well, you know, everything. Do I need to watch Ned Stark being beheaded again, then buy the box set and then watch it again? That's the debate. So that, okay. Alright, let's just actually get that to fit. Right, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. That somewhere is this kind of thing, but it's got the feel of a kind of a phone to it somehow. Now, what do I need? That, those, one of them, and one of you. No idea where any of it goes, though. I think I want it this way up. Okay, I'm smoothing out the edge, is what I'm doing here. In a very pleasing fashion. Oh, yes. Nice. Tidy. Very good. And do the exact same thing on the other side. Well, it's not actually the exact. It's a very similar thing, but not the same. Same idea, different execution. But what about what about the attack on the droid attack on the Wookiees? Damn it, I forgot the line entirely. That's one of the greatest issues of Star Wars, is they always have all this like cool shit going on and cool stories to tell. Because they did the prequels before the main story. 9 times out of 10, you already know what's going to happen. Like the Clone Wars. Or one, they just skip out the whole damn thing in the films. It's like, begun, the Clone Wars have. And then Revenge of the Sith. It starts with the end of the damn Clone Wars. Now fair play, they got all those... They got a lot of action out of it in the middle by making 2 cartoon series. But it takes away from it a bit, watching the adventures of Ahsoka and Anakin and that, when it's like, well, I know Anakin turns evil for a start, and I know a lot of these people aren't making it because they ain't in A New Hope. Instead, they lie low for ages like Yoda and die of old age. Have I done all this? I have. Yeah, I'm onto a new section now. And the whole thing, like, I was reading Tarkin now, and I was thinking, yes, it's a great book and all. It's really enjoyable. It's well written. The characters are good. It's nice knowing the backstory. But I also know that he dies, like in A New Hope, and it's not a particularly heroic death. He's just on the Death Star, gets blown up. It's foretold. You know he doesn't really do that much more. Like he kind of shafts Krennic, takes over, and then. I've got to make 2 of these. Blows up Alderaan. Although, funnily enough, like a lot of people, when they watched A New Hope, or just Star Wars when it came out, they just assumed that Tarkin was the head of the Empire. Like everyone always figured it's either Darth Vader's the one in charge or it's Tarkin, because he kind of gives Vader orders. Only kind of. And they think like, oh, the Death Star blown up, that's it, that's done. And then Empire Strikes Back, it's very much sort of Vader is the one sort of leading the charge, and it's like they're just getting revenge. They're not really planning anything. Then it later turns out, oh, there's an emperor who's actually in charge and the big bad. And then even later again, you find out, oh, the Empire is actually massive. There's 100 million Star Destroyers or some dumb number like that. Okay, I've made a round. It's actually very visually pleasing. It's very flat. There are, however, 2 bits here that make me think I made an error. But they are correct in the diagram, so I haven't made an error. Screw you, doubters. And now to make something very complicated, which will apparently be the bit that secures it all in, and quite possibly the last thing I do this episode. Because it looks like the sort of thing that's ideal to finish on, and I fully expect my timer to go off as I'm building it. Here's a fun thing about iPhone. If you have an alarm set, as I do, one that goes off every day, but it's not an alarm to wake me up. It's an alarm to tell me, like, you should have left by now, essentially. 9 times out of 10, I've already left for work. So I'll be in the car driving with earphones in for hands-free. What will happen is, if that alarm goes off, can't get to my phone to turn it off, obviously. It's in my pocket or whatever. Use a little button on the earphones. And you push that button, the alarm stops, and it will play some audio off your phone. Maybe a podcast, maybe something from the music area. Interestingly, if you're like, you could be halfway listening to a song, pause it, go about your day, this alarm goes off, you'll hit that button. It won't play that same song. It will just play any random track, apparently. Not like the first track on your thing, like quite often it'll be alphabetically first. No, it will just do whatever. It's a flaw, and there's nothing I can do about it because I refuse to update my phone. Because it's at the point where, I think it's a 6S or something, so it's a few iPhones down, and it's at the point where every iOS upgrade will just slow it down. And whilst I'll get new features, the slowing down and shittier aspect is not worth it. So it's just ignore the updates is what I have to do. And iOS is very kind in that every now and again it will say an update is available. Install now or later. And if you put later, it says schedule a time, and then you say fuck off. And then you go into your folders and you delete the iOS update that it's downloaded to save you time. The 1.6 gigabyte update is downloaded at some point using up your, I don't know, data, maybe your home internet allowance, or just your plain old battery to do it. It's a real helpful little feature it does there. And 2 of these T-bonks. I finally assembled what I'd need for this. It's a very complicated piece. I have to make 2 of them, that's why. That inflates the numbers greatly. I'm tempted to make both of these at once. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Because that way, when I make a mistake, it'll be in double. I need to switch hands. This is wrong. No. It's a weird thing. You know, either your right hand or your left hand will be the better hand, won't it? But it's never quite as simple as that, is it? Like, do you use your good hand to steady and your other hand for the intricate work, or do you brace? I don't know. It's difficult for me. My hands aren't very good. They're damaged goods. Push that through. I'm no longer going to make 2 of these at once because it's kind of annoying to do that. Yep, and put these in here. Okay, and then grab this, and it goes on the end. And the same again, but that side. Come on. Okay, good. And then put 6 of these in just any old place you want. There's no real reason to it. Do you know what I really fancy? A kebab. Just a nice greasy kebab. And I had one for ages. It's a dirty food. Alright, that's one built. Now build the other one. I've already got a head start because I built the first step seconds ago. Maybe I could do some sort of bacon-based number. Sautéed onions, bit of mushroom, maybe an omelette. Omelette could go nice. Though I hate my own omelettes, I can never quite get them how I like them. I think it's because I put way too many eggs in. I normally use about 10 eggs when I make myself an omelette. I will point out they're like from my own chickens, so they're not quite as big as store-bought eggs. They got a lot of yolk, but not a lot of white. That's how I'd put it. Makes them richer and less healthy. more nutritious, but less healthy, definitely. Have I actually done this right? Because I've kind of just been guessing. It looks correct. And that's as good as I can manage. And then these 6 in here. Perfect. Right, now take this and add it facing this way, but on the inside to here. Like that. That went in real nice. I mean, that's clearly going to slot in somewhere, isn't it? Possibly on the next page. Nope. Tell a lie. Just stick that over there. Does that or does that not look like a time machine? Is that just me? Am I just seeing that, what I want to see? I'm thinking a Terminator style time machine, but less disorientating. What am I making? Oh, I'm making the gun now. This is for the gun turret, because this current bit I'm doing now is the build it into a gun step. And I've built it backwards. Good. Always a pleasure. If you could have any one superpower, what would it be? The correct answer is telekinesis. Every time. Push it far enough, you can fly. Move stuff with your mind. Heck, if you get the right setup of like iPhones and shit, you know, you can do all kinds of nonsense. Plus, it'd be one of those where if you were smart about it, no one could really prove you could have it. You could make it seem like you had super strength, but actually it's your telekinesis doing it. Just less of the teller, more of the kinesis aspect. Get used to having a force shield around you. Granted, you might have more nosebleeds than usual. I haven't had nosebleed in ages now that I think about it. It's one of those things now where I think the last time I had a nosebleed, it felt like it was right at the time. It's like, yeah, I did have too much blood. Something needed to let the pressure off a bit. There it is. Am I building this correctly? Damn it. There's nothing holding these bits on yet, and they keep coming off. I keep not paying attention to how they go back on. Still watching Dragon Ball. It's my go-to. It's great. It's great to watch because it's not super riveting, but it is enjoyable, and it means that I can normally only manage to stay awake through 1 or 2 episodes per night. And on rewatching it, it's like I'm realising, oh yeah, I've seen this. I don't remember how this ends. Don't remember what happens here. It's very pleasing. Yamcha gets to actually be in it. He's a character. It's very pervy to start off with. Actually, that's just classic Japanese, isn't it? Like, there's an undercurrent of perviness in all anime at all times. It's the main reason that people don't like to admit they're into anime. I've missed a step, I think. This isn't good. Because the bit I need... Okay, that's a bit more pleasing. The bit I need is this, one of these, but in a different colour. And I think I may... Wait. One there. Oh no. Wait. Do I need it? Yeah, I still do need that. Okay, I've got one here from my spares pile. Let's not question it. Let's not question why that was over there, ever. Just hope it all plans out. And at the end of this, I will have a Falcon. Okay, that's good. How did anyone ever hit anything with these turrets either? It looks like just impossible. Something I like in Star Wars, they have droids. Like, we've seen droids. Droids are a thing. No turrets are like computer controlled. They're all controlled by people. They have to be manned manually. Or maybe they don't, and I'm not aware of that in the story. Either way, God, I'd kill for a good Star Wars game. I don't know. Maybe Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a good Star Wars game. The newer one, not the one that is a good Star Wars game. But I just, yeah, I want one that's good without any, like, it's great, set for the microtransaction. Or once you get past this, it's great. I want one that's just, it's great. Let me be a Jedi. Let me fly a ship. Those two things are Star Wars. Jedi Force lightsaber, ships, combat, space, on planet. Get those two right, you've got Star Wars. It's my only issue of a lot of the recent Star Wars films. Not a lot of Jedi. Not a lot of lightsaber fights. Solo? None. Rogue One? One. Not really a lightsaber fight either. Just give me more of that shit. It's the best bit. What the hell am I making now? It seems to involve many tiny pieces. Oh, I think this could be... No, I still don't know what I'm making. Two of the little grey clips. I'm getting that kind of headache you get where you know it's like a lack of blood sugar. And the risk, I can push through it. I've gained tremendous willpower. However, upon doing so, it will, generally speaking, result in a crash later on. Okay. So I made that, and that goes... I made it upside down. That's better. It's good. I knew as I was making it, it was upside down, but I thought I might be able to get away with it. But no, I've been the bigger man. Solved my issue as it arose, as opposed to later on. That's what being an adult is all about. Solving your problems before they become problems. That's an ability that you should be able to put on your CV. It's like, if I notice a problem, I will solve it before it gets worse. But the thing is, no one would believe you if you say that. If you say that to someone, everyone's response was, yeah, of course I do that. Even though 90% of people are liars about that. They'll notice an issue and just leave it. Case in point, you've got some rubbish. You go to put it in the bin. Your bin is full. You should empty the bin. You don't empty the bin. You put the rubbish on top of the bin and you let it lie for someone else to be their problem. Probably you in the future, but you let it lie. And you know you've done it. Everyone knows they've done it. No one has ever added rubbish to a bin that has been full and not been fully aware of exactly what they're doing. But it's the world we live in. Nearly lost the bastard. That would have been tragic, the last second. Okay, put that in there, put this through. I think I'm actually making the gun at this point. I always like making the guns, because it's not normally until you put like the last part of the barrel on that you're like, oh yeah, that's quite clearly a gun. Like, that's not a gun, is it? It's an art attack. Right, so... I need one of them and one of them. This goes on here like this, and then this goes on a swivel. Okay, yep. Oh Christ. Suddenly the last step is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. There's a peg missing. Fortunately, those are 10 a penny. They probably are actually 10 a penny. They're quite small. Wouldn't surprise me. And one of you, two of you. Okay, right. Now assemble this into a gun in a style reminiscent of Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah, that's... Time's up. Right, I'll assemble the gun turret, and then that'll be good. That's an ep. Okay, here we go. I'm on it now. I'm rocketing along. I'm like Jack Black in Mars Attacks. Most people don't remember Jack Black was in Mars Attacks because it was kind of not a serious role, but not, there were a lot of people in that film. He dies quite early on, but he's like a military kid, and he assembles a rifle blindfolded. That's a thing. And is it a gun yet? It's not quite a gun, is it? But it's becoming one. That bit there. Oh, there's actually quite a few more steps before it becomes a gun. That makes sense, seeing as there's so many small pieces left here. But not the piece I need. Oh, there it is. Oh, and the extra peg I just lost. Alright. Let's see. Throw that into... like that. And then this... oh, I see. Yep, this makes sense. Round it off the edge. Okay. And then these four... these are the barrels. This is the beginning of the it's a gun, isn't it? Make these four first. God, I'm so hungry. I'm half tempted to just go balls to the wall. Go like McDonald's or something. It's a long way for me to get to McDonald's though. It's a good 30-minute drive. It's tempting though. I've actually got a bit of annoyance with McDonald's. I like McDonald's. I go there a lot. It's fine. I had a mouldy burger the other day. The bun was mouldy. Took a picture. I was like, I went drive-through, so I couldn't immediately go back and complain. I took a picture. I was like, I'll do an online complaint. They'll send me a voucher. It'll be fine. I'm not asking for hundreds of pounds. I was like, I don't know, it's £5 or £6 for the meal. I'd take that. They'll probably give you 10 quid in vouchers because it's a round number. I was like, yeah, that's fine. That's what others have got in the past. I was like, that'll do me. I'm not asking for riches here. I still ain't got anything out of it. I keep escalating it. I'm like, I don't want to have to go on social media and bitch about this. I just want it done in private. I don't want anyone to get in trouble. I just want you to know I had a mouldy bun. Please give me something for my lack of a meal that day. Gun. Don't really look like a gun, does it? I think it needs to be attached before it will look like a gun. Where the hell does this go? Wait, what? I'll put it on backwards. No, it's just upside down. Yep, it was upside down. Okay, put that in there. That there. And then there it is. So this attaches on top of here, thusly. And behold, we have the gun turret that... yeah, that actually works, because if you look through the window, it's like where the turret would be for sort of shooting. It's not quite perfect, but it's good enough. And it just came off. There's not a lot holding this on, actually, this turret. In fact, there's not a lot of ways of getting it back on. I'm wondering if I missed a step. Shit. So it goes in. Damn it. I just need to get this firmly in place. Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, I had it in the wrong place, that's why. If I can get this bastard off, I'll be able to put it in properly. It'll be really secure once I get it in here, where it's actually meant to go, I think. There we go. Yeah, that's not coming out now. I put it in the wrong place. Totally my error. Then I'll put that back on there. There we are. Now that's better now. Yeah, now it's in the right location. It sits much better. So just lay that flat, put that aside, put them aside as well. Actually, I can add this on now, but it goes underneath the ship somewhere. About here. Well, I know it goes there, don't it? We know where it goes. It goes in the middle. I don't really know how to put it in, though. Actually, no, I do. Well, I've got to do it, haven't I? I've got to try and seat it. Shit. Something came off. It's a little bit. I've no idea where that came from. Cock. Well, damn it then. That's going to be there forever. Right. So this has to go on like this underneath here. And these bits on top slot in here, I think. Slot into this bit. It would have been much easier to do before I just put those two other bits of undercarriage on. You know what you need for doing this? Genuinely. You know, like how mechanics will have like a bay for getting into cars, like just a hole in the ground essentially. You drive the car over it and you work underneath. That's what you kind of need for this, like a mechanics bay. Right. Doesn't overly say which ones they go in. I suppose it must be this one though, because it's the only option. Flying blind here. Are they all going? Yep. Alright, well that's locked in place. That's never coming out. I've just realised this is the seat that you sit in for the gun turret that will go on this side, because that's the little handles you'd hold on to. I'm tempted to even just put someone in it ready, but if I put them in it, they'll probably never come out. Let's not do that. Nah, they'll have built a method of getting them in and out. They're good like that. Right, is that it for this? Yep, on to bag 11 next time. It's a big old boy, isn't it? Right, thanks for watching. Join me next time for more discussions of a futile and useless nature. Alright, I think next time I'm building two bits that go here and here. That'll be fun, won't it? I'll see you then.